Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another best of 5 playoff in the BBB Season 1 tournament. Now, the players here are LeNorm and Bloodpenguin, who unfortunately also do not have the exact same Steam name as their, Discord name or their name on the thumbnail. So instead we have no blood but Plague Penguin on one side of the battlefield, and on the other side we're just waiting for LeNorm to join the lobby. Wait, let me just check, do I have audio? Yeah, I think I do. But yeah, anyways, I took a break over the last week. Went traveling to Amsterdam and just chilling, so there's not much stuff I did other than uploading recorded gameplay. And yeah. Yep, Sulfur-Crested Cockatoo is LeNorm's name for sure. But yeah, I'm not sure what the meta is right now. It's been like a week, and the meta has been changing constantly. Like last I played, Crusher spam was still a thing, but then when I came back this Friday, yeah, I started playing a bit yesterday, and suddenly people are starting to use like the Lead Belchers plus Man-Eaters combo, which I'm happy because it seems that I'm starting to persuade people to accept Man-Eaters, but I'm also sad because I'm not the unique one anymore, and I need to figure out how to deal with the Man-Eater plus Lead Belchers plus Nobbler combo, the Ogre box. That's how I would put it. But yeah. Seems like the meta is evolving and constantly changing. Now I need to spend a bit of time to catch up. Now let's see what the two players are going for. Vampire Counts versus Bretonia. Ooh. Another spicy matchup. Interesting. I can't really talk about their army builds right now. I mean, again, just to make sure nobody streams sniping. I mean, these two are like Vermin League admins, so they know their way around regular tournament rules. This is indeed BBB's tournament, so the rule sets are slightly different, but well, it's the same etiquette anyways. So yeah, I trust these two will not be stream sniping each other, but hey, just to make sure, you never, yeah. Just to make things 100% sure and safe and guaranteed and fair. I won't be talking about the builds, but I will be talking about what my builds would be in this scenario. The Vampire Counts might be in a tough spot right now because they're healing. The passive ones got slightly debuffed, and now it's gonna be two. I swear, it's gonna be two blobs of Mortis engines, with the Vampire Counts doing their Vampire Counts things, spending a bunch of money on chaff and I don't know, crypt horrors, just to hold the center, and then yeah, and then the Bretonians will be fielding their own type of tank units, which is extremely tanky, and that is indeed the Grail Guardians, recently buffed. Also, don't forget they have splash attacks, making them very good at clearing out any kind of vampire chaff with their crappy stats. And yeah, with the healing of the Fae and also the favor of the Fae buffing, plus a couple of shallots of potions dropping in, plus the Mortis engine effect, I do think that the Bretonians do have a bit more of an advantage in this matchup. Still, it's not completely out for the Vampire Counts because they still have the very powerful, very powerful Mortis engines. I guess it's just gonna be devolved into, yeah, again, Mortis engine blobs. I personally would bring a bunch of Grave Guards just to hold back against Bretonian peasants and whatnot, and yeah. Maybe even bring out a Kemler here, using the Chaos Tomb Blade to really pump up their regeneration, just to get everything to heal cap as soon as possible. But yeah, let's see how the two players play right now. As yeah, they are setting up. They are setting up for sure. Wait, what is this? What? Nope, I can't say stuff, but spicy builds, spicy builds. Okay. If you want to be unique in Ogre Kingdom, Spring Gorgers, and Cry and Crab Launchers, yeah, those two are crap units. I can't. Just no. Maybe I can start spamming Morn Fang. But no, but there are players who are using Morn Fang recently. Cool Umbrella and and Strat Game, I think. No. But yeah. Let's see. I mean, the two players are still picking, but it seems I suppose Bloodpenguin over here went from blood to plague. Freaking traitor. Where's your loyalty to the blood god? I mean, I don't know if Bloodpenguin is anything related to the blood god, but whatever. But yeah, we wait and see. We wait and see. Oh, it seems that both players are ready. Now, let's just get prepared for the fight. And, yeah, I'll just unblock the armies now. Give me a second. And here we go. Two spicy armies indeed, because we have Outbreak the Bordeloo instead of the Fey Enchantress. On the other side, things are a little bit more typical for the Vampire Counts, with a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord supported by Necromancer, coming in with a Mortis Engine as well, really trying to just provide some grinding power. While Outbreak will be providing that anti-large to help the... Wait, anti-large? There's not a lot of large targets for the Vampire Count. Anyways, anti-large providing the Grail Guardians a little bit more edge over fighting monsters. Oh, right. There's a bunch of Varghite spam on the Vampire Count side, on LeNorm's side. And yeah. This might get interesting here, with one going extreme air power and the other using one unit of Pegasus Knights only. Yeah, these guys are going to be dead as soon as they get caught up by the Vargheits. But there are indeed multiple units of Grail Guardians here to support, especially with Outbreak the Bordeloo here. Let's just get his thing out. Braid of Bordeloo, providing additional bonus versus large and leadership, making the Grail Guardians slightly more potent against all these, all these Vargheits. On the side for the rest of LeNorm's build, Mortis Engine, we went through that. Sternsmen providing a very solid backbone for the rather chaffy infantry lines of the Vampire Count. Skeleton Spears, Zombies, and that's pretty much it, really. 5 of each. Or 4 of each? 4 of each, I think. Anyways, on the Bretonian side, a lot of chaff as well, truly going for a peasant horde. Peasant mobs, 4 of them, and then mixed in with 3 more man-at-arms, 1 of them with shields, all of them the sword variant. At the back, a few man-at-arms with polearms. These guys have slightly better leadership, yes, 56 over 50. I guess it's just that they have better weapons and they got a little bit more confident with their longer pointy sticks with a bit of more armor piercing. Anyways, they will be the... Well, I don't really want to say that, but they will be the backline protection of the peasant bulls, providing a backbone for the peasants. Now, of course, the true backbone of the army are the Grail Guardians, who are just a solid melee infantry. In the skies, a Pegasus Knight, and that's about it. Of course, there's also a Grail Reliquary, providing that immune to psychology and additional leadership to the surrounding peasants, making them slightly more resilient to the fear and terror of the Vampire Counts. And as well as a single Damsel of Life here, providing a bit of healing in the form of Regrowth and Earth Blood. Yep, just these two, trying to match the healing of the Vampire Counts. And give me a second. Yep, this seems to be fine so far. Okay, so both armies, not much to do right now, so we'll be chilling. Wait, I'm picking up the word chilling from Human Boy for sure. I should stop doing that. they're just slowly marching towards each other, trying to get into each other's faces and start hacking away. Of course, the peasants do have their peasant bows at the back here, providing some light skirmishing firepower to perhaps whittle down the zombies, but more importantly, they need to whittle down the mortis engine, which is still hiding in the forest. Wait, can it hide in the forest? No, it cannot. So I guess with such hideous glow of the ethereal spirits on the side, yeah, you can't really hide that thing in the forest. Anyways, in the front line, with the lack of mobility, with the lack of blood knights and black knights on the vampire count's end, all these Grail Guardians are just plowing into the zombies and doing some nice impact damage, but these guys are taking some minor damage in return, being chipped away so far. But anyways, what's it called? Yeah. A volley of peasant fire arrows are dropping into the zombies, doing some okay damage. Well, they're cheap, so even shooting a chaff isn't exactly the worst choice here. Anyways, another charge going in with the Grail Guardians. With Lance formation, they do have more mass, making the charge all the more impactful. Very nice cycle charging already at the beginning of combat from Bloodpenguin here, trying to whittle down the unbraced vampire count's infantry before they can get to the front line and tearing apart the peasants. But they do have to be careful because the Varguys are are very close behind, going after the Grail Guardians, and if they stay a little too long, they might just face a devastating armor-piercing charge. Anyways, peasants are moving up and will be getting onto the zombies. They will inevitably lose against fear and unroutable undead chaff. In the skies on the far side, Pegasus Knights and Varguys are engaging, while over here there is a little bit of Trident going down. What can it do? Now, doing some pretty neat damage over some skeleton spears. While the zombie push are in a bit of a trouble here, being slowed down by the peasants and disrupted by the Grail Guardians, these Pegasus Knights needs to fall back. They took a single unit model loss, probably will drop a couple more models if the Varguys continue to chase them. Yeah, they're just trying to get back to the middle of the formation. Perhaps landing would not be a bad choice here and allow the Grail Guardians to support them. Peasants turning around, shooting at chipping away some of these Varguys' health, while the Blood Dragon did drop in a zombie summon trying to tie down the peasant bulls, while the Grail Guardians will be slamming in, screening away the undead infantry so that the peasants can retreat back to safety. Things are vary so slightly in the favor of the Bretonians, thanks to the meticulous microing of Bloodpenguin right here, but the undead are now plowing into the front line with their Varguys here. Grail Guardians will be reacting, but there's just a lot of zombies and stuns and even are here. But yeah, using the Grail Guardians to hold back the Varguys, even doing some massive impact damage, combined with the support of the fire arrows, the Varguys are being pushed off. Albrecht also jumping into the fray here. A breath attack from the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, but possibly doing more friendly fire to the Stunsman. Quite unfortunate right there. But right now, Albrecht is slightly isolated, allowing the Varguys to plow onto him and trying to isolate him. But that allows the Grail Guardians to countercharge. But there will be a Blood Dragon Lord countercharging their countercharge. It is a whole blood brawl right here. On the far side, peasants grinding against zombies, so not much going on, but here is the key engagement where Albrecht is taking some massive damage as the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has activated a lot of his abilities. Helm of Discord, Sword of Anti-Heroes, doing some massive damage to Albrecht. He needs a regrowth soon, and he might just be getting it. Yep, he is getting it right now, but the Blood Dragon is just staying alive, getting even an invocation of the hack for himself. And at 832 armor-piercing weapon strength, oh god, Albrecht just got demolished by a single Vampire Lord. Now, the Grail Guardians are still holding firm, but I don't know whether they have that kind of burst damage to drag down the Blood Dragon. However, good news is that the Mortis engines has definitely overstayed its welcome, possibly being shot up by all those focus fire from the peasant bows, and will be soon seen off. Well, retreating, I suppose, and just staying back, regenerating its hit points. Bad news for the Bretonians, some of these peasant bows are being routed and are now out of position. Where are the Pegasus Knights? Are they already dead? Probably missed that. Anyways, all these Grail Guardians are flooding towards Albrecht the Bordeloo here, who is landing onto the ground so that the Grail Guardians can pile onto the pursuing Vargeist and the zombie dragon from the Blood Dragon here. But very unfortunate here, they are just pushing through the cavalry and still hounding Albrecht as usual. Another summon goes down with the zombie screening, pinning back the Grail Guardians. More Grail Guardians are coming back. Still flurry 3 models. It's a sizable force of melee cavalry. Over here, these originally routed but regrouped peasant bows actually the weird routing route worked in their favor because, well, they actually got closer to the Mortis engine and start shooting at them. Anyways, over here, Vargeist seems to be losing in this combat. Wait, oh well. I was wondering where Bordeloo is. He was just backing off, as the Grail Guardians are such a superior melee combatant. At 59 melee defense, their melee attack is debuffed by the Noxious Breath, I assume. Yep, minus 30% melee attack from the Zombie Dragon Breath attack, but they still have enough stats to drag down all these Vargeist. Now, all these peasants somehow survive the onslaught of undead and will be returning to support this fight, but I don't know how much use they can be. It really comes down to whether Albrecht can tank out or survive long enough till the late game while the Grail Guardians do enough damage to drag down enemy units. Unfortunately, another Helm of Discord wrecking the melee stats of all these Grail Guardians down to 14 attack, 35 melee defense. This is not looking too great for them. Now back to 38 melee attack, 43 melee attack now. Another heal of Earth Blood as well, topping up the health of the Grail Guardian and Albrecht, who is now officially hitting his heal cap. So really comes down to the peasants and Grail. Well, still Albrecht and Grail Guardian so far. But yeah, wait, the Stuntsmen are still holding. They do have their innate regeneration, so they are just tanking all the damage they can tank. Still not a greatest of time if they're fighting against Grail Guardians, but better than regular zombie chat for sure. Right now, the balance of power is rather obviously in the favor of the Bretonians. Another Earthblood is healing, topping up all these Grail Guardians, while the vampire forces are running thin. The Mortis engine is just hiding in the forest, trying to avoid all those missile fire from the peasant bows, while the Blood Dragon still being rather healthy. This is the key to pull back the game for the vampire counts for sure. Whether he can snap out Albrecht or Bordeloo would be very possibly a decisive turning point of the battle, but then he still have to contend with all those Grail Guardians, which is no easy task. Perhaps, just perhaps, the Mortis engine's what is it called again? Reliquary corruption does bypass that physical resistance on their Grail Guardian. So, yep. Actually, you know what? Even if he can drain away the health of the Grail Guardians, he's just absolutely getting wrecked by that charge from all these Grail Guardians. Vargeist are jumping in alongside with some breath attack of the Vampire Lord, doing massive damage to all these Bretonian units here. Peasant men at arms and the Grail Guardians all suffered some massive shock damage, but that is not saving the Mortis engine here. Down to last 700 HP, getting an upgraded Invocation of Nahak to just help it hang on slightly longer, but then these Grail Guardians are still so very healthy. 52 unit models, over 5,000 HP. This is looking rather rough for the Vampire count. Now, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is still very much healthy, using the Helm of Discord, debuffing all the stats of the Bretonians here, but he is also trying to chase around Albrecht the Bordeloo, not exactly hunting down the remaining Grail Guardians. And right now, his sort of anti-heroes will soon wear off in 3 seconds. Did like one hit on Albrecht, so quite a missed opportunity here to work down the Grail Guardians, as they are now back to 5,700 HP, all thanks to all those healing from the live damsel. Yeah, I do think that this might be the end for the vampire counts, because once all these supporting zombies are done for, then there's nothing to save the Blood Dragon from being completely overwhelmed by the numbers of peasants and just, well, Grail Guardians. Elite cavalry is so elite that they still have 52 models, which is like a minute or two since we last saw them. And yeah, that might just probably be it. Now the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is trying to pull out of this combat while the zombies are still tying down the knights, but I don't think he can do much here other than get slaughtered by the Grail Guardians. Albrecht still have roughly over 40% of his health, so he is just enjoying yeah, he's just enjoying his time in the sky so far. Workero, I like Albrecht, but I'm just starting to learn bread. But I'm loving him so far. Yeah, Albrecht is theoretically a pretty good lord, but he doesn't have the self-healing like Luon, so things are a bit finicky with him. I mean, he does offer his use, but personally I like Rapunzel more. Yeah. Anyways, enough simping. Blood Dragon, Vampire Lord diving down, probably activating Helm of the Scott once more, but right now Albrecht is just not fighting him well. The Grail Guardians are sitting down here, just trying to pin him down, and there goes army losses, and that shall be the end of the Vampire count. The lady does indeed protect. Now let me just quickly save some replays so that I might just perhaps have something to talk about in future game or something. In future videos or something. Coops, I also kind of just feel like Luon sucks. Yeah, for some reason Luon, when you think about it, Luon would... Like, when you think about it, you would think Luon is good with the healing and all that, but he just underperforms when he's like going on one-to-one fight. I guess all the Bretonian lords are kind of a support lord and can't really duel anything, really. When you think about it, okay, let me just adjust some of the names of the files. LeNorm versus Bloodpenguin 1. Okay, yeah, when you think about it, all the Bretonian lords, generic lords excluded, are supporting lord. The Fae is definitely a supporting lord, except with the Mortis Engine effect. Albrecht the Bordelot, you're not really in for his fighting power, but more of his anti-large aura plus the trident. And then Luon, yeah, well, he's just here for a sort of Corone, and perhaps if he gets below half health, beloved son of Bretonia. So even Rapunzel, Rapunzel by herself, only a horse mount, doesn't really do that much impact on the battlefield, but she does have the fleur-de-lis banner and the sword. Well, the sword helps her fight a lot better in melee, sort of Leonis. Anyways, she also had the holy maidenly wrath. Basically an explosion that adds blind effect to any surrounding units that get hit by the explosion. All of the two of these are like, yeah, the explosion and the fleur-de-lis banner are both pretty neat supporting abilities. They're providing stat buffs and debuffs. While the Bretonian lords themselves are like still mortal humans, so can't really do insane impact on a battle. What are the insane impact on the battlefield are actually the Grail Cavalry this time. All these Grail Guardians, over 2k damage on all of them. Absolutely solid stuff right there. Quite a few of them are still left in battle. One of them has like, what, 52 unit models left. This is some stupidly insane stuff. Anyways, Albrecht not doing a lot of damage, but the healing did top his life up all the way to the point that he managed to stay alive in the late game. Perhaps a better battle plan would be just sniping out the Damsel of Life, but that means also leaving Albrecht the Bordelot to do whatever he wants. Anyways, the Pegasus Knights not doing too much. They did some damage to the Vargas, but that's it. While peasants got overwhelmed by the zombies and whatnot and the Vargas, so not doing a whole lot of damage, although these peasant bows have been shooting at the Mortis Engine, doing some significant damage, and yeah, just very solid, cost-efficient missiles, really. Especially with the fire damage, they're limiting the healing. I think, well, the fire damage does add more damage to the Mortis Engine since the Mortis Engine itself has regeneration, but I think the fire damage does not actually limit healing because of some bugs or something. Anyways, the rest of the army, Stunsman did well. all these VAR guys did some pretty solid damage, but just not enough to overcome all the healing and supreme melee stats of the Grail Guardians. Blood Dragon Vampire did pretty good. Almost sniped out Albrecht the Bordeloo there, but unfortunately the healing got him back, and yeah, the Bretonian leadership remained intact. The zombie and skeleton chaff frontline didn't really do much, and yeah. Oops, I forgot about the army blocker. There we go. It seems to be... So, in this battle, it seems that we're looking at a Norskan versus Dark Elf battle. Bloodpenguin actually banned Skaven, Dark Elves, and Beastmen by going... Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's the first game. Never mind. Bloodpenguin banned Skaven and went Norska. No, Bloodpenguin banned Skaven, and then LeNorm went Dark Elves, and then let me just check. And then Bloodpenguin ended up with Norska. Okay, cool. Interesting. Banning Skavens. I feel like Skaven isn't exactly the first thing to ban on my mind right now, because they are kind of weaker now in terms of their in terms of their power scale, if anything. Like, there are a lot of ways to break through their boxes. They're rather fragile frontline, and their missiles, other than the rattling guns, are not as impactful as before. Dark Elves versus Norska. I'm expecting Cheese Runner Chariot, and I'm not going to talk about the actual build here, so just talking about my 2 cents on the matchup. While, yeah, I'm expecting monsters... Yeah, okay, so I'm expecting monster hunters from the Dark Elves, especially with Cheese Runner Chariots there, but given their limited ammo and the constant regeneration of the Skin Wolves, this might be a finicky choice, especially nowadays. We also have the 55% missile resistance on the Familiar Warriors. So we shall see. Skin Wolf spam is still one of the major concerns of this matchup, since Dark Elves do not have healing other than their Soul Stealer Lords. And yeah, we shall see. Oh right, and tomorrow's almost Mother's Day. I hope everyone got plans with their family. But yeah, let's see what the two players are going for. It seems LeNorm is ready, while Bloodpenguin is still picking some of their units. Wait. Yep. He's still picking stuff, so we're just kind of waiting here. Oh, it seems that both armies are ready. Now let's just reveal the armies by unhiding the blocker. Also, I need to change the score number. There we go. Oh wait, no. Wrong person. There we go. Bloodpenguin with his Bretonians took the first win. Well, this time we'll be seeing two rather strong factions in the meta right now. Never thought I would say that about Norska, since they have been underperforming in the entirety of Game 2 and all the way up until Skin Wolves became a thing, and then now that the Familiars got buff, things are looking quite well for these guys. But yeah, let's check out both army builds. LeNorm going for an interesting pick here, going heavy kite. Not with cheese runners, but with a whole bunch of black arquebusiers with their hand bows. I feel like I've been seeing these guys a lot more, especially against light armored factions. Seems like they're a mixture of great, decent skirmishing firepower and decent enough melee stats makes them rather interesting and popular as a pick for a lot of Dark Elf players. They can chip down enemies' health, and then when everything is done, they can just charge straight into melee and start hacking down the lightly armored marauders. And their armor, their AT armor, helps them mitigate a lot of the damage from the berserkers and regular marauders. And then we have, other than the Black Arquebusiers, we have a whole lot of dread spears. 4 of them, in fact, supported by 2 witch elves and, well, 3 Colt 1 knight, providing some elite anti-lodge armor piercing. In disguise, a single raven heralds there's not much the Norskins can do to threaten these flying cavalry, except the not much is actually here. 2 javelins. Well, technically you can counter them with marauder horsemen, but javelins works just as well, and probably even better because they have anti-large damage. Anyways, the leadership of the Dark Elves is a single supreme sorceress of dark magic coming in with only Soul Stealer and an opal amulet. While the Norskins here, led by Wolfric the Wanderer, supported by the Shaman Sorcerer of Metal here, with, of course, Plague of Rust. Combining that with the, this, the Hunter of Champions, that's gonna be a 90 armor debuff to the enemy character, making any melee hits a lot more potent, especially when the base weapon damage of Wolfric on his horse can be buffed up by the Sword of Torgold. Now on the flanks here, there are some Ice Wolves. On the other side, also Ice Wolves, supported by Skin Wolves here, trying to do some impact damage on the Black Arquebusiers. A little bit of a cheeky charge, very similar to what we saw earlier in the Bretonian versus Vampire Counts battle. Now, the Cold Knights are here to plug the gap, but then got hit by a massive upgraded Plague of Rust. The Skin Wolves anti-large suddenly become a lot more impactful on these Cold One Knights, doing a lot more shock damage. All the stuff from the Norskins are piling in, trying to drag down, snipe out these Cold Knights, while the Dread Spears are being hacked through by the Marauder Berserkers. Skin Wolves moving into the front line as well, but some of these Berserkers and Marauders are taking damage from the Black Arquebusiers kiting. But yeah. And Breath Attack going down on the Marauder Hunters there, doing some pretty nice damage, but unfortunately not going to save these Cold Knights, who are on the verge of breaking down to less than a quarter of their health. They will be retreating, and perhaps nothing's gonna save them from the pursuit of all these Ice Wolves. And wait, no, the Witch Elves are here, dragging down the Ice Wolves with their pretty solid weapon strength, really. 44 plus bonus versus infantry, plus rampaging, pinning down the Skin Wolves, preventing them from freely maneuvering around the battlefield. Actually managed to extract the Cold One Knights over here. While in the front line there, Marauder Berserkers are being chilled through by the Witch Elves. Quite an ironic turn against them when there's a better dual weapon infantry there, who is also known for their frantic attacks and yeah, being fanatics in general. Anyways, the Marauder Berserkers shattered, while the LeNorm's kiting force is still rather intact with all 3 handbows on the other side of the battlefield. Although unfortunately Witch Elves are buckling, these Cold Knights who managed to return for a bit actually still get caught up by Ice Wolves, Skin Wolves, and they will be ran down. Black Arquebusiers still fighting, but they are now overloaded by a lot of Skin Wolves. Even their AT armor probably won't be able to save them this time. And the Dark Elves now only have a single unit of Cold One Knights remain. Balance of power is against against LeNorm favor once again, but let's see if he can pull back. Berserker is still pressuring all these Black Arquebusiers, while the Dread Spears are trying their best to avoid engagement. Cold Knights plus the Dread Spears are pushing the Marauder Hunters here, while the second unit of Marauder Hunters are cross-firing into the fray. The Cold Knights will have to retreat, and I'm not seeing a lot of Soul Stealers here. Possibly because how healthy the Sorcerer still is. Anyways, Cold Knights will be extracting themselves from combat, while the Dread Spears will be punched by the Skin Wolves. A lot of Skin Wolves, in fact. Off 3 units, one of them is less than half a unit, but still, 3 units charging in, overloading the Dress Spears, and they will be done for. Javelins throwing into the Koa Knights, who are now being caught by the Marauders as they had a little bit of lapse in their retreat. Definitely a mistake on LeNorm's side. Now the Skin Wolves are surging forth, and there's nothing to stop them, with the Koa Knights now hit by another Plague of Rust, this time the regular version, not upgraded, possibly due to the lack of Winds of Magic, but that is more than enough for the Norskan Ice Wolves, Skin Wolves, whatever, to just cut them down. The Raven Heralds have been shooting for quite a while, but 11 kills, 281 damage, that's not a lot. This is not looking good for LeNorm right now. They're beating back the Ice Wolves, but there's just a lot of Norskan forces still on the field. All 4 Skin Wolves are still online, albeit one of them is less healthy, but they can regenerate. And yeah, the other 3 didn't even lose a single unit model. And I don't see how the Dark Elves can really work through so many anti-large units. So this might be, again, this might be a rough ending for LeNorm. Black Ark Corsairs, they're still kiting, but how much damage did they do? Not even enough to earn back their own damage value. This one is slightly closer at 649 gold value, but right now, every single, yeah, what? Right, what? Wait, what? I thought I saw a spell there. Anyways, every single Dark Elf position is overwhelmed by Norskan forces. Wolfric is charging in. There's the Hunter of Champions and a Plague of Rust upgraded. Sword of Torgal is coming in. Maybe not. Either way, yep, Sword of Torgal is right there. Fight or Die buffing up the melee attack of Wolfric, helping him hit a lot harder on the Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic. She needs a Soul Stealer right now because all the anti-large on her unarmored body is doing massive damage to her right now. Wolfric is having trouble getting onto the Sorceress, but right now, as soon as he can connect with a hit, he will take out a huge chunk of the remaining HP of the Supreme Sorceress. But, well, Supreme Sorceress barely managed to get out alive due to the sacrifice of some of her Black Ark Corsairs. The Raven Heralds are still chipping away the health of Wolfric the Wanderer here, but I don't think that's gonna be enough here. Soul Stealer dropping in, draining away the health of Wolfric the Wanderer here. He's trying to get out of range, but unfortunately not quite enough, not quite fast enough to get out in time. So 3 expensive units being hit by Soul Stealer, 2 Skin Wolves, and Wolfric himself, so stabilizing the HP of the Supreme Sorceress. But right now the Black Ark Corsairs will have to go back on the run, and something needs to chase down the Skin Wolves, preventing them from coming back, as they still have quite a few unit models left. There are still 2 completely healthy Skin Wolves on the far side, which will still remains a challenge, a massive challenge for the Dark Elf forces, especially when there are still some Javelins lying around here, and they can just shoot down the Black Ark Corsairs and whatnot. So yeah, things are still rough for the Dark Elves, but maybe there's a slight chance for them to pull back. Now the Skin Wolves have returned to combat, and they shouldn't have much issues working down the Witch Elves, who are extremely depleted, now down to 23 unit models. Yep, they just straight up routed them. A breath attack from the Marauder, a breath attack onto the Marauder Hunters, but unfortunately the Supreme Sorceress took a lot of damage in that exchange. A lot of these anti-large missiles and the lack of speed on the Supreme Sorceress, especially when she is now exhausted and also debuffed. Nope, the wounds are not working just yet, so her speed aren't debuffed by that, but yeah, the damage is not kind to her at all. The Javelins are still throwing in, so she's trying to sustain her HP with a little bit of Soul Stealer, but Wolfric is not going down just yet. Still have 1,000 HP left, and the Supreme Sorceress might have to take a melee fight just to work down the remaining Norskan forces, because the remaining Dark Elf forces are not having a good time whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, hey, Iltriel. Nice to see you here. Oh, missed that. Hunter of Champions onto the Supreme Sorceress once again, and another upgraded Plague of Rust. That might just be the end, as Wolfric is beating down, slaughtering the Supreme Sorceress in melee combat, especially with that Sword of Torgold. Yeah, this was a rough game for LeNorm here. The kite from the Black Ark Corsairs was probably a bit lackluster. Not quite enough for him to do the damage. We can check the damage value. Actually, no. The 3 Black Ark Corsairs that survived and expanded all their ammo did a lot of damage. Okay, I'm surprised and impressed all at once. The thing is, the Koa Knights got wrecked by the combination of Plague of Rust debuffing their armor and then the anti-large attacks of the Skin Wolves, really overloading the underperforming Raptor Cavalry here. The Raven Heralds, theoretically it would have been neat against Norska, who lacks air power, but unfortunately here with the javelins around, they are just shredding any large units. Koa Knights, Raven Heralds, even the Supreme Sorceress herself, all took some heavy hits from the javelins, anti-large missiles. The Witch Elves did pretty meh performance, unfortunately, and the Dread Spears got chilled through by all those Berserkers, the Marauders, and also the weapon strength regenerating of the Skin Wolves as well. The Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, they're only coming in with Searing Doom and Plague of Rust, but really Plague of Rust is all you need to work down the Dark Elf's armor there, combined with the anti-large from the Skin Wolves. All of them did pretty decently, but not as ridiculous as the Marauder Hunters or the Black Ark Corsairs, really. But the rest, the hell, 1,300 gold worth of damage value on these Norskan Ice Wolves. That's quite ridiculous. These ones are normal now. While the Berserkers, Marauders did meh. I guess they just couldn't quite catch the Black Ark Corsairs and got shot up. While Wolfric the Wanderer, he was on the verge of killed, but he pulled through. He pulled through with a combination. Yeah, really, Hunter of Champions lowering melee stats and armor plus the Plague of Rust is just such a potent combo. Anyways, adjusting numbers now. Penguin managed to take 2 games so far, and both players are still picking their army, so we'll just have our army blockers up right now. GG to both players so far. Some very solid games so far. Plague Penguin might have won 2 games, but those 2 games were rather close. Umbrella, hey man, nice to see you here. The count is 2-0 as Rocket Row has answered you already. Bretonian versus Vampire counts plus, yeah, the game we had just now. Hopefully, like Rocket Row said, hopefully LeNorm will bring it back just so we can just see more games. I'm down to cast more games. This has been fun and I'm loving it. Anyways. Some really interesting choices of units so far, and it seems that the Wolfric plus Metal Shaman Sorcerer combo really gained some popularity these days. I think we didn't see them that much, I think, before, and I remember the first one to actually show me this combo was Mr. Teufel, and then I started using it. But yeah. This has been pretty... Yeah, this combo has been pretty solid so far. Like, I don't even use Flock usually. Just Wolfric and Metal Shaman Sorcerer, perhaps adding in Familiar, because these days Familiars are strong. And bam, you have a total of 130? 30, 60, 120 armor debuff. Well, if you don't want to use Lore of Metal, you can also just combine it with, like, for example, for something with medium armor, like 80 armor, 90 armor, you can just bring a Sorcerer of Death, Shaman Sorcerer of Death, using Soul Blight for an area of effect armor debuff, plus a Familiar Contact effect armor sundering. That would be enough to put multiple units into minus 60 armor. So yeah, just a few ideas for everyone to use. Don't mind me. Not sure how competitive they are, but well, there are ideas. Cool umbrella. Just leaving work, going to try and snipe tactical on Vermin League. Yeah, I've started playing Vermin League these days. I normally just hang around ranked ladder, just because I don't really want to commit that much time into best of threes. Like I would be fine if I set aside time to play best of threes, but it is not, like, it is rather long as a game, and I just can't really, and I just don't feel like, usually especially after work, I don't feel like committing myself into like a half an hour to an hour long fight. So I have not been playing Vermin League for multiple seasons, but recently I tried to play rank ladder. God, it just doesn't feel the same like playing against tournament players. Well, which makes sense. A lot of players on ranked ladder is casual, but with CA still not able to figure out a ranked system or anything, we're just running into random players all over the world with various skill levels, and I'm just not getting the kind of tight fight as I want. So yeah, I started playing Vermin League, but yeah. But yeah, hopefully I don't get sniped on Vermin League. Anyways, while the players are still picking, Vampire Coast versus Dark Elves. Okay, cool. Not sure what their bans are. Yeah, not sure what their bans are, and but we shall see. Vampire Coast is readied up really fast. Yeah, not sure what the Vampire Coast have in play here, because recently I haven't played Vampire Coast in months, but I heard their fighting power got nerfed quite a bit in recent patches, so we shall see how the Vampire Coast performs. But yeah, I don't know if we are going to see gun bats here too, so that would be, like, theoretically it would be nice to use gun bats again. Oh no, there's Harpy, so yeah, gun bats will be threatened regardless. And yeah, we'll see. We'll wait a bit. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, over the past week, I wasn't really that active in Warhammer. I wasn't even watching videos. Normally, I just keep myself up to date on Daft Plays and Human Boys YouTube uploads. But I was traveling, so just chilling in Amsterdam, not doing much. Oh, Strat Game, thank you for the super chat. First super chat on the entire channel. I'm gonna screenshot this. Hold on a second. There we go. And that is worth a mem rating for. And yeah, don't thank me for the cast. I thank you for the constant support, really. Do the best of one practice bit tactical. But I can't claim myself as a new player, as I've been around for literal years. And thank you, Strike Games. The young bucks will love it. I guess I can test out some builds in there, I guess. But recently I haven't been really coming up with any like meme builds or anything like that though. Like, oh god. Oof. The PC's getting a bit hot. It seems that they still haven't. So, might have a little bit of background fan noise. Bear with me. But yeah, the young bucks would love it. Maybe, perhaps. But yeah, I'll probably try some random builds. But yeah, I haven't been making any new meme builds so far. Because the exploitable ones are usually discovered very early, and then we have some obscure ones which are not very competitive. Would it be worth adding for everyone the best of one bot? I think, honestly, I think it would. Like sometimes I just want to play a casual best of one, and and be done instead of committing myself to best of 3s. Now, granted, I might just go on game after game even when I'm on best of 1, but it feels easier that I can just leave whenever I want. Of course, that's the illusion of control. Give me a second. Let me just unblock everything. It's the illusion of control. Like when you're watching shows, you don't really want to commit yourself to a full 90-minute movie, but you're more than willing to just watch an episode of something of half an hour, and then you're like, I want to watch more. So you start watching even more episodes, and in the end, you spend like the entire night watching, I don't know, Downton Abbey or something. It's like the one more round scenario in Total War as well. Like, you feel like you always have the option to stop, so you just keep going. But it's also easier to get in than just going, oh, I need to do a long game. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. You know. Also, partly why Total War Warhammer is is easier for me to get into than something like Age of Empires, where not only the learning curve is a bit steep, but there's also the issues of you have to play for like 40 minutes to an hour for a game or something like that if you are in a close game. Anyways, enough of chatting. Let's just talk about the army builds here. LeNorm going for Vampire Coast with a front line of zombie pirates with pole arms and regular swords one mixed in. At the back, 3 units of handguns providing some nice armor piercing damage, supported by the 2 Death Gods, the dual axis variants, and some more zombie pirate deckhand mobs protecting 3 total, 3 mortars, and a couple scurvy dogs supporting as well. On the other side, Bloodpenguin going for the Dark Elves here. A lot of firepower here. 3 Dark Shards, 2 Shades, and actually 3 Shades. And are these the regular? Nope. Some of them dual weapons variant. One of them the dual weapons variant, possibly just a little bit of extra money to throw it in and for clearing out zombie chaff after they are done with shooting. And front line of Dread Spears as usual. And 2 Dark Riders with shields. And a couple of Dark Riders with repeater crossbows hiding in the forest. Actually, 4 Dark Riders with shields, really going for the mobility to swarm the Vampire Coast backline. Also, the Crows of Cain in the skies, and also Malekith on the ground. Right, I forgot to introduce the monster and armor-piercing core of the Vampire Coast. A single unit of animated hulks supporting, protecting Count Noctilus, and that's it. Yeah. Tactical got that jetpack. Yeah, I think that would make it really pop in best of 1 bot. Yeah, that would. Yeah, it would be nice. Do like Butcher Bird and drop after 1 game. I guess that works. Coops, please. Yeah, it would be great if you can just reflect the opinion. Reflect the opinion to the totally not Skaven no. But yeah, it would be nice to just have a lighter option over the best of 3. Anyways, engagement starts to begin. Some shots went into the ground, unfortunately, possibly because the mortars were on fire at will and Malekith got in range. The Scurvy Dogs got shot up by the Dark Riders. And Shades are slowly approaching the front line. Handguns unleashing a deadly volley onto the Crows of Cain, but as long as they're not losing too many models, they can heal it back up with their Crow Feast to provide a little bit of healing in melee. But then they need to get into melee to get the healing, so that's gonna take a toll on their hit points if they can't actually drop in before getting shot up and destroyed. Anyways, Shades are shooting at zombie pirate, that kind of mobs. Possibly not the best use of ammo here, but they do need to thin out the outer defenses of the formation before they can get into the softer underbelly and the more expensive underbelly of the Death Gods. So yeah, Scurvy Dogs. Oh, Scurvy Dogs, a good catch here. Using the Malkov's Mystifying Miasma, slow down the Shades and catch them with the Scurvy Dogs. Did significant damage to the Shades here, but just not quite enough to kill them off. And they still have 69 models now left. Very nice. And yeah, they will just probably stay there and chill. Now, Dark Riders, some of them managed to get into the handgun mobs here, and these Crows of Cain drop into the zombie pirate handgun mobs as well, but then the Death Gods persuaded them to back off, while Scurvy Dogs here chasing down the Dark Riders with shields, and they will be switching on to the Shades trying to work them down. These are not the dual weapon variant, so they do not have any bonus versus infantry, while the Dark Shards are getting worked down by all those mortar crews. One of them, actually 3 of them still online, one of them are slightly disrupted by the Dark Riders, but the Death Gods and zombie pirate, the pole arms are just there to fend off the Dark Elf mobility. Now the Shades are in range to shoot up the mortars, so they will be focused down first thing. But then the handguns are still here, which will be shut down by the Dark Riders. More Dark Riders flooding in, while over here Crows of Cain being fended off by the zombie pole arms. On the far side, Scurvy Dogs still chasing down the skirmishers, the Shades here, although the Dark Riders are hunting them down. In contrast, what the hell happened to Malekith? He got hit by the Wraith Storm, but somehow he is worked down to 60% of HP, while the animated hulks are pushing off the Dark Riders who are not on skirmishing mode, so they do not have the quickest response to any closing in melee threat. One of the mortars have been destroyed by the Crows of Cain, who are now indeed healing in melee combat, all thanks to their Crow's Feast ability. While Malekith still moving in, trying to get to the back line, getting shot up by the crossfire of handguns, but he should be able to get some healing with Soul Stealer. But then a Wraith Storm coming in, continuously chipping away his health. He really needs a Soul Stealer at some point soon, because Count Noctilus is not gonna leave him any quarter here. And that is exactly what's happening. Count Noctilus with his polearm is moving into Malekith, and he had no choice but to back off while being shot at by 2 different units of handguns. Although good news for the Dark Elves, balance of power. Bad news for the Dark Elves. Balance of power is against their favor right now. There's still some very healthy Death Gods. Well, they're gonna get shot up by all those armor-piercing crossbows, so things might be a bit rough for them right now. But there's still there's still 1 unit of very healthy pirate handgun mob online, and some of these summoned handgun pistol mobs are shooting up the Shades. They're very expensive Shades, doing some very cost-effective damage with a bit of Winds of Magic as a cost there. There's still quite a few units of zombie units left on the field, so they should be able to perform some nice screening against the Dark Elves, although unfortunately another mortar crew will be going down for now. These handguns are also being caught by the Dark Riders and will be crumbling to dust at some point soon. There are still some Dark Shards barely hanging on by a thread, but they are hanging on. While over here, another Soul Stealer dropping in, trying to heal off Malekith, and that should work out massively in favor of Malekith, really. While Count Noctilus has been constantly dropping Malkoffs, trying to drain away the remaining health of all those Dark Elf units, so that there will be less of a threat in the late game against his troops. But things are not looking too good for the handguns right now. They're crumbling as they're being shot and being hunted down by the Dark Riders. Dark Riders are repelled by the zombie pirate deckhand mobs, but a Gaze of Malice here will be chipping away quite a bit of health, a significant portion of the remaining health of the handgun mobs. So unless they receive some healing, but unfortunately Count Noctilus does not. Yeah, oh well, Count Noctilus does have Invocation of the Heck, I guess, but with the Dark Riders coming in, they're not going to be holding on for too long here. Good news is that oh god, the balance of power is now shifting in the favor of Dark Elves, as a lot of the missile units have been worked down from the Vampire side, while they do not have the most healing to sustain their HP. While Dark Elves do have Soul Stealer to heal up Malekith, the Crows of Cain are constantly healing in melee combat. They have done their job. Worked down 2 mortar crews, 130 kills in melee. Another Malkoffs draining away the hit points of the Shades. A Soul Stealer, not sure what it's hitting, possibly trying to get Count Noctilus, but Count Noctilus moved out of range before they can even activate the spell. So only really hitting the zombie pirate gunnery mob, but more importantly healing back Malekith right now. A summoned zombie mob again, just trading fire against all kinds of Dark Elf forces. They are dirt cheap. They're really dirt cheap. So if in a missile exchange, it would be not great for the Shades. So they're just moving into melee combat. But now they're turning back They probably just hold their ground with guard mode on to just shoot them down. But anyways, Malkov's draining away the health of these shades once again, while the zombie pirate deckhand mobs really need to start shooting once more. They only have a limited time to stay on the field, and once they start crumbling, they would not be able to use up the remainder of their ammo. The more ammo they can use, the more damage value they can get, which will work even better for the vampires. Now, Count Noctilus is being shot point blank by the shades. Not great for him right now, but he doesn't really have a choice here. Invocation of Nahak healing him back up, but the Dark Rider repeater crossbows are shooting as well, so things are not looking great for him. Zombie pole arms are here holding back, driving back a tide of these dread spears. They are basically the only remaining melee infantry for the vampires here. Zombie pirate deckhand mob still pushing, but there's nothing really to deal with these dark shots here. Count Noctilus casting another spell, trying to flood the shades with the melee zombies, but things are looking rather rough. It is not the missile variant, so all the stuff here can just basically back away with minimal casualties. Good thing about Noctilus, he is a vampire, so he does get the hunger in melee combat, but that is if he gets into melee combat. Suddenly all these pistol mobs fade away, and Malekith will be backing out of this melee combat. And yeah, Count Noctilus is not getting his healing unless he can get into melee range with the Dark Riders, but nope, that's not happening. A point blank volley from the Dark Riders shuts down Count Noctilus, and that shall be the third and final game of this series, as Bloodpenguin had a clean victory of 3-0. Now, excuse me for a sec as I rename the replays. But yeah, a rather quick series this time. Still a very good game. Like, Vampire Coast actually had a good chance of winning it. But unfortunately, the missiles wasn't quite doing the job here. The Dark Shots Shades really was a massive threat to the backline, and plus the nice harassment with the Dark Riders overwhelming the handguns and the zombie defenses, shutting down multiple mortars with that one Crows of Cain here, really earning back the value, while Malekith simply tanks the damage with all the Soul Stealer, his physical resistance, missile resistance, and all that. Actually, not sure does he have physical resistance on his cold one, but either ways, he just tanks the damage really well. And the Dread Spears constantly pushing. The high leadership of the Dark Elves means that they can hold even after sustaining heavy casualties, while the Vampire Cold simply crumble to dust. And yeah, in the end, the missiles, the Dark Shots didn't do much being shut down by the mortars, but the Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, they're not as vulnerable to mortars as their infantry brethren, so they managed to survive well into the late game with a lack of mobility on the Vampire Coast's end, and yeah, just shoot up Count Noctilus and all the remaining Vampire Coast units. While the Vampire Coast not having exactly the tools to deal with so much shooting. Mortars, they're fine at shutting down Dark Riders, but against something like Shades, where they can have stealth hiding away in plain sight, or their loose formation mitigating the damage, they are just not as effective. They shut down the Dark Shots, but that's about it, and then the Crows of Cain drops in and they got slaughtered. Handguns did some damage, but not that much really. Again, the same problem with gunpowder units. Not the greatest line of sight. Always having line of sight issues and stuff. And plus they are constantly shut down by the Dark Riders and Dread Spears, so yeah, not the greatest time for them either. Zombie infantry, being zombie infantry, not exactly the greatest damage. Death Guards, against so much armor-piercing shooting, they just got shot to pieces. Same goes for the animated Hulks here. Count Noctilus did a lot of damage with Malkov's and the Wraith Storm, but just not quite enough to deal with all the healing from Malekith and yeah, the remaining shooty units of the Dark Elves. Just too much Daka, man. But yeah, this shall be the end of the best of 3. I hope everyone enjoy it. And let us just catch up with the chat and yeah, call it a day. Yeah, best of ones does make it easier for newer players, because for older players you can plan more with the picks and bans. But yeah, they can plan more with picks and bans. They are more familiar with multiple matchups, while in best of ones you can always just main one faction and be done, or like main a couple factions and be done. While in a best of 3 you need to main more. The longer the series, the more it advantaged the better player for sure. Yep, indeed, I do agree with that. Best of ones are cool. Oh, best of 2. Nurgle's PA best of 2 even. Draw as a possible result. It's possible to do something like a football game, I guess. Like where you get 3 points for getting a win, 0 points for a loss, and 1 point for a draw. But that will complicate things on the ELO calculation a lot more. So, yeah. Coops and Rocker will be like, yep, both players. I don't care what I chose. My chosen won anyways, with the very vague options for players to support. Thanks, guys. Do you know how little your initial statements narrows it down to? Practice pit has no elo. Yeah. Oh, okay. I feel like yeah, I guess we can do. Yeah, I guess we can do a. I guess a best of 1 with no elo would still be fine for me, honestly. As long as there's like solid players playing in the. Yeah, as long as I can match up with like solid, high tier players, and get wrecked. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching. Massive thanks for LeNorm, Bloodpenguin, and also the BBB hosts for letting me cast this battle. It's been a great game. I hope everyone had fun. GG to both players. Some really solid action right there. And yeah, other than that, I shall not occupy too much of everyone's time. Oh wait, no. Before that, I think I was... Okay, before that, just a little bit of self-advertisement. Tomorrow, if everything goes according to plan, then I'll be casting a best of 7 game between two finalists of the Trial of Azurian. I think it's. Let me just check whether I got the leak right. Basically, ODM is hosting another tournament, a long one. We even have best of 7s in the finals, and I'll be casting that very likely. Yeah. Yep, Trials of Azurian. That's the name of the 20 with a bunch of high tier players playing as well. It will be the finals will be best of 7 and supposedly happening tomorrow, but we'll see as the semifinals should be happening today. Anyways, tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I hope everyone's gonna enjoy the holiday with their family, and I shall be signing out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Coops, it's on Lopi's. Oh well, I'm still reading the chat. Okay, it's on Lopi's mod, right? Yep, it is on Lopi's mod. No, wait, no. Is it? Is there a Lopi's mod? Oh shit, I need to download the mod. Okay, I'll have to download the mod before actually hosting the battle. I think I do have it, but I'll have to check the mod manager. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Edge signing out.